Yeah, I was drinking. He was having fun. We were hungry. We made a song. We went and got Filiberto's, came back, finished it.
That literally is
passed out
everyone's
on
life in Arizona. So
and the video.
Everyone should check that out.
Yeah, the video is actually filmed at Filiberto's as well, like in the drive-thru,
God.
right in front of it. So, I mean, it's...
We even have one of the workers in the video dancing in the background.
Yeah.
This is Amigos PC.
If you were looking for a highbrow, fancy, smart, regal podcast with hosts that love to talk about horse riding, badminton, and trips to the vineyard, you're in the wrong place. This is Amigos PC. If you're looking for drinking, random nonsense, stunts, shenanigans, and balls out craziness, you've hit the jackpot. This is Amigos PC, and this is Scott and Mark.
So let's first start by saying, welcome to the Amigos PC or podcast. And Mark, introduce who we have here.
We have a show favorite, Joe Audio, also some of our artwork, or all of our artwork. And then we also have these guys collaborated together, created an album. From what I've heard, it sounds like you both are on it, obviously. Vizunary, a rapper here in the Phoenix Valley area. Is it right to call you a rapper, or would you prefer a different term, or what do you go by?
You can call me a rapper, but I mean, I consider myself more of a music artist because I do more than rap, as Joe knows. So, okay. I mean, play guitar, sing a little bit. Don't shake your head no. But I consider myself more of a music artist.
What is your passion then? What would it be, rapping, or would it be like playing instruments in a band, or what would you say your calling is, or is just music in general?
Just music in general. I mean, I've never played in a band. I'm not good enough guitar player to play in any band, let alone play by myself. But I love playing it.
Gotcha.
But,
okay.
I mean, I've always been involved in music my entire life, so it's just music in general.
Very cool. I mean, that's a passion. Keep going for it. That's awesome.
You say that it's been a part of your entire life. So where did it, like the first tingle of music, really grasp in and pull you in?
Probably the night that my mom got laid.
Oh, nice. What was she listening to? Do you know?
Wow.
Was it like
Beyond?
It's got to be. I'm gonna say it was probably Journey. Was she listening to Journey when your mom was getting banged?
No, because I'm half Mexican, so she was listening to Mexican music.
Oh, nice. It was a nice
She had gone out dancing, and she had known my dad for a little while, so she already was listening to Mexican music and stuff like that. So she was a fan of some stuff. So they went out dancing, got drunk, went home. I became the accident.
Nice. Well, I mean, all Mexican births are accidents.
Most, yeah.
You guys are so... Yes.
Never give up.
Because trust me, I'm quarter Mexican, and I have a lot of kids, so...
Yeah, I have none.
Oh, that's good. That's good.
Yeah,
good for you.
And I'm the only one from my father, so apparently somehow it trickled down from my grandparents having like 11 to my dad having 1 and me having none.
Oh, shit. Wow, 11. Wow.
Yeah. But I screwed it up somewhere down the line. I said no kids, so,
Were you a skateboarder? Like maybe you're like doing too many like rails and you like hit your nuts too many times, or what do you think? Why? Or do you have an amazing pullout game?
No, I honestly don't know what it is. I mean, I've never been the one to want to have kids really, and it's just. No, I think it's because I'm more I notice that I'm more selfish with myself and my time and things that I want to do. I mean, nothing against anybody that has kids or wants kids or anything like that. I mean, I always said if it came down to it where I decided that I wanted kids, I'd go ahead and adopt.
That's cool. No, that's 100% agree. Because I mean, honestly, that's the stigma, right? Or like the stereotype. You don't have to always fucking have to have kids.
No.
If you don't want kids, that's awesome because there's too many other people having too many. You know what I mean?
Yeah, and the thing is my fiance, she already had a couple of her own kids. I mean, by the time I came along, they were old enough and, you know, either 18 or older, or even her stepkids from her previous marriage still hang around. And you know, I care about all of them the same, you know, and it's just, no matter what, there's always going to be a kid that needs loved. And you know, I would rather love a kid that has nobody than to have a bastard child and out of something that I have. I mean, yeah, I'd probably still love that kid if I had him, but you know, like I said, if I decided I ever wanted kids, it would have came down to me just adopting.
That's what we do. We bring out the deep stories. I don't know how, but it happens.
Things that Joe doesn't even know.
Yeah, see, that Joe just found out some shit. That's why he's like, oh shit.
I just found out he's engaged. I didn't even know that.
It's the third time, so we'll see what happens this time.
Roll the dice.
Yeah.
Isn't that crazy when you're doing like this podcast stuff, or like you're involved with a friend for a while, collaborating on some type of project or something, and you start to learn new things after knowing them for a long time?
Yeah. Well, I already knew that information. I just said it to people.
What happens though? I think.
Don't
but yeah,
pull the third wall away.
Like for the longest time,
fifth wall or whatever it is.
For the longest time,
whatever. How many walls are there?
I think there's 8.
8 walls, yeah. Don't take all the walls away, Joe.
Yeah, no, I know. I try not to. No, for the longest time with Visionary, like I didn't know his real name. Like Visionary is all I knew. I still call him Visionary. Like I don't call him by his real name. Like even when we're hanging out and chilling. Like, and it's the same with like because we did this album like about 10 years back called Future Desert Sounds. And there was a third guy that used to rap with us. His name was Stunna. And for the longest time, I didn't know his name. Like until like a number of years, like I didn't know his name. So it's like, I mean, yeah, I work with them like daily, nightly. You know, we were in the studio all night, and I just knew him by their
I'm pretty sure by that time, Joe, you knew me by my real name because we had we had a lease together on a place. So.
Well, yeah, but I mean,
how'd you find out Stunna's name? Was it because he had warrants and like a cop was there and he's like, "Are you Julius Childs?" or like something weird? Like, what happened?
Yeah, how'd you find out, Joe?
Yeah, how'd you find out?
Because Visionary called him a different name. Like we were like chilling outside, like kind of a break in between like recording, and Visionary's all calling him a different name, and I wasn't too sure for sure if that was his name. Like. I just thought maybe it was just a nickname or something, but you know, I found out it was his name from hearing them talk to each other, not talking to me. I overheard them using like their real names, like and leaving me.
Well,
in
you
the
never
dark
asked,
here, you know.
So you know what are we supposed to say? Am I supposed to say, "Hey, Joe,
yeah.
guy you know, Stunna, his real name is actually Michael."
Yeah.
You know, I'm going to give you his full name, his date of birth, his social security number. You want
where
all
he lives? Where he lives?
Yeah. I mean, it's not like it came up in conversation.
Well,
all you had to do was just ask, you know, aside sometime, like, "Hey, so what's his real name?" I don't know. Yeah, you don't care. You use and abuse us all, Joe.
Well, it was all a mutual benefit. Like we were all recording, so we were making music. As long as whatever was working was working, that's all I cared about.
Well, I was going to ask, where did you draw your inspiration with this new album? Like, where are you guys getting your inspiration for your music then?
Which album are you talking about? Joe's new album? My last one? What?
Well, we can start with yours. We'll go with the most recent album that you dropped, which is going to be the Visionary. Well, I don't know what's it called. I don't even know what it's called.
Just met each other.
He helped. He's an executive producer on it. He put all the artwork together. He mixed everything, and he still doesn't know what it's called. Visions Volume 2 Game Face. It basically just it started like 10, 12 years ago, and most of the songs were already recorded back then. It's just I never finished it and stepped away from music for a while. And, you know, take care of personal businesses and stuff like that. And Joe came to me, I think it was last August or something like that. And he was like, I got to record something. I need to be creative. I got to do something. I'm going insane over here. I said, all right, come bring your stuff over. Let's set something up. and that night we started coming up with the song Midnight Get Right, and I was like, you know what, I've got 8 or 9 tracks, however many done, I might as well just record a couple new ones, put it together and see how it goes and just throw it out there. And it pretty much went from there. I mean, there isn't really like a whole lot of inspiration. It was just kind of just songs that were previously recorded that never made it anywhere. I never put them out really, just, song here or there. And Joe coming over to do that kind of reignited the fire, and it helped that, I was now working for, here in the Valley. I'm home every night and all that stuff. So it just helped that it was easier to become more productive with music.
Okay.
We record everything out in the metal tin shed that I have in my backyard that's full of rust holes and rat droppings and stuff like that. That's how it sounds so good and sounds like professional quality.
Yeah, most of the stuff we recorded at my place. All of the Visions Volume 2 album that he has, well, the majority of it, a lot of it was recorded at Big Hap's studio, which is Ash Music. Ash Music has a studio here locally in the Valley. So he recorded a lot of it over there. And then a few of them we would record at my place, at my studio. But it's all home studios. And then more recently, after we kind of started rapping again, when we did that song after I went over to his house and said, I wanted to record something, I need to make some music. Then I gave him a setup, and we both recorded at both our places and kind of sent files back and forth and just work virtually. I mean, just how this whole podcast, everyone's in separate locations, and it all comes together for one final product. That's what me and Visionary do. We just both record at our separate studios. Sometimes I'll go over there, sometimes he'll come over here, and then we just make it happen however it happens.
I'm going to contradict you there, Joe. You kind of told a little lie. The majority of the album was not recorded at...
Well, you weren't here, so I had to make up something.
Music studios. There was no... Hey, I don't know what happened. I don't know. Like, all of a sudden, it just said everything timed out on me. I don't know what happened. But anyways, there was only like two, maybe 3 songs on the whole CD that were recorded at Ash Studios. The rest of it was either recorded with G Major or you. So... yeah, I was talking, and all of a sudden everything just shut off. I was like, what the hell? Where'd everything go? And it said your connection timed out. Or
yeah, when you left, I thought you were mad at me. I was like, oh, the question was bad. That sucks. and then Joe picked it up and ran with it.
Yeah.
So it was all right.
Yeah.
Oh, that's all right.
Even though he was lying, but it worked.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, you guys wouldn't know if
he
it
got
was
most
true
of
or
it
not.
right.
I mean, you guys were all believing it, so hey.
I believed it. Like,
yeah.
Oh my god, that's cool. I like it.
Yeah, I recorded everything in the shed out back.
That's not even there anymore. Yeah, but pretty much when I came over and did that, told him let's record a song, we recorded this song called Midnight Get Right. We were just kind of listening to the beat, and then like, I mean, you guys kind of know me a little bit. Like, I tend to want to like joke around. My brother more so than me, but like, it's all kind of playful and stuff. So we're listening to this beat. Visionary is, similar in that way too. And we're just listening to this beat. We were kind of hungry, and so we're talking about like eating at Filiberto's, and then Visionary kind of made like a little like verse that was kind of going along with the beat, and then we're like, hey, I like that. And then we kind of just started using that, and then building around that. And then the Midnight Get Right, there's a video for it. I don't know if you can play it on here. I can send that to you as well. But if not, there's a YouTube link we can send you.
Yeah, we'll do that. We'll put it on our socials for sure when we post, right, Mark?
Sure. Yeah. Thanks for putting on
to put you on the spot. Yeah.
Yeah.
Actually, Joe. Yeah. I mean, that's partially right. What happened first was I came up with that little bit at the end of the song that one burrito, 2 burritos,
Yep.
3 burritos, los gorditos. I came up with that first, just kind of going along with it, and that's where it all spiraled out. Where we came up with the hook singing midnight, kind of just going along with that, and then it just spiraled, and we ended up with the song. We were like, well, we got something, I guess. It's good. I'll listen to it, and we just ran with it
so
from there.
You guys were at Filiberto's when you were doing this?
No, we were here in this room behind.
Was it after
right
eating Filiberto's or
it was prior to
immediate afterwards?
Yeah,
because you were drinking, having fun, and then you had it, right? Probably.
Yeah, I was drinking. He was having fun. We were hungry. We made a song. We went and got Filiberto's, came back, finished it.
That literally is everyone's life in Arizona. So
and the video,
everyone should check that out.
Yeah, the video is actually filmed at Filiberto's as well, like in the drive-through,
God.
right in front of it. So I mean, it's.
We even have one of the workers in the video dancing in the background.
Shit.
Yeah.
Yeah, and we didn't even know it while we were filming, but when we were done with the scene, the director was like, "Yo, one of the guys from inside was actually dancing in the background," and I just kept rolling because he was actually on beat.
Fuck
we were like,
yeah,
"Well, keep it, throw it in there."
Yeah,
and it was just hilarious because once we watched it, we were like, "Oh my god, he was right. The guy is actually on beat." Without even hearing the song, because we were just playing it off of a phone speaker just so we could get the footage and everything, and the guy somehow was actually on the beat.
That's good shit.
What's the movie magic like with making a video like that? So you guys had the phone speaker, right, with the beat going, so you could do the thing while you're filming. Are you ripping the audio off of that and overlaying new audio, or how? Like I said, what's the movie magic behind making a video like that?
The guy that shot the video for us, his name is Carlos Berber. He's actually a pretty like well-known director, like videographer. Like he makes music videos for like people in the industry, like actual artists, like big names in the art, big artists. He's made a lot of music videos for in the past. So we're lucky enough to contact him and get that situated and set up. But to make a music video, I mean, you have your audio you record in the studio. That's the one you're going to use, because you're not going to use the audio from the video. You just act out the song, rap it, whatever. You then, when you make a video, you just strip out all the vocals and put the recorded version on top of it, so it lines up with your vocals. You know what you're saying, and then, I mean, it's pretty simple. It's just ripping the audio out of the video and then laying them on top. I don't know. I can show you better than I can tell you, but I know how to do all that.
Yeah. It's simple enough to do, but there's also a process and skill of making sure everything's edited together correctly. So that way it all makes sense, like if you're telling a story. But at the same time, all the words in the song have to match the lips. So it's just, there's different things that you have to make sure line up correctly. So, like, if I'm going from one shot to another shot over here from a different angle, my lips still have to match to whatever's being said, no matter the angle. So that's the tricky part, is the editing. But as far as overlaying the audio, like Joe said, that's pretty simple.
Yeah,
that's crazy.
No, I never thought of different angles and trying to make sure that you piece that together correctly. Also, not somebody who films very often, and when I do on a podcast, the internet is complete garbage for some reason. Yeah, exactly. So that's good information to know.
So it's funny that we bring up like video recording stuff, right? So I've been going to the gym recently, which, crazy. Yeah, bad idea, right? Why?
Bad idea.
So I've been going, but at the gym they play videos, right? So for me, I'm not that old, but I'm old. Like what I mean by that is I'm old enough, right? So what I mean by that is, so I used to love like the videos that they would just be dancing randomly in the street, right? Or like they're singing the song and they're doing their shit and they're just having a blast. And now I'm watching, like, when I'm doing my my thing at the gym, because they're playing videos, because normally I don't see videos anymore. And it's like, why? Like, it doesn't make sense, because of, like, one shot they're out in the field dancing for no fucking apparent reason. And another time they're inside the house dancing for no apparent reason. I'm like, none of this fucking makes sense. Is that me because I'm old? Probably. Or is it because, like, the video, like, they need to make videos better, is what I'm thinking. Like, it doesn't make sense.
Do you remember?
What do you guys think?
Do you remember which one it is?
What do you mean? It's been all of them.
like all the
like
videos,
all like
they're dancing.
all the ones I'm seeing now, like they're dancing in the street, like because I'm a big rap music fan, like I still am. Like no matter new stuff, I mean it's hit or miss. Old stuff for sure, but it's like I used to love like like Snoop Dogg and all that shit, like LBC and like just fucking having fun and barbecuing and all that shit. But now it's like maybe it's because I'm getting older and I'm like, this doesn't make sense anymore. What are you guys' thoughts on that?
I would say definitely it's older music you grew up on, so you're gonna kind of like feel it more,
love it
yeah,
more, right?
You're gonna love it more, so it's gonna, whatever it is, it could be a whack video and you're still gonna more or less love it.
It's true.
I mean, also though, but back then there was a little more creative because there was new stuff being created at that time, whereas now a lot of that stuff has kind of already been done, so you've seen it for at least a good 20-30 years of videos.
Oh, maybe. Yeah, that makes
and then
sense.
also, but anyone could do it anywhere, like this wall right here, I can pretty much remove the color of the wall and put like whatever, almost like a green screen type thing. But you can film in a parking lot. You see a lot of people doing TikTok videos and stuff. It's the same thing. Like just film wherever. So it's easy. Anyone can do it. So the access to the equipment and just the ability to do it is so much easier for anyone to do it. That maybe not the best top producers are making these videos nowadays. They probably some of these people have probably videos that cost them maybe a few $100s. Versus back then, like, I mean, you had to have like
millions,
to do all that. So it's just the times. I mean,
like remember when MTV used to have the show making the video? Because if you watch that, they put a lot into the production. They had crane cameras, they had the cars being pulled on trailers, and this and that, just so they got all these shots and the choreography and stuff. There was a lot more put into it. Which you're right. Those videos had more substance, had more depth, and maybe not as far as visual content wise, but as far as engaging somebody to want to sit there and watch them. Like it blew my mind. I was like, I would love to make a video like this or like that. But then it hit me. I don't have
that's what I mean.
Stuff.
Like it's like I don't know if it's like me being like I'm getting older and like I've seen so much of it, and it's like it could be that, not to be like introspective of myself, but it's like it's crazy.
Yeah, I mean, like Joe said, anybody can make a video nowadays with your iPhone or Samsung or anything like that. I mean, as long as your camera shoots in 1080 or higher, you can make a music video. All you need is somebody to hold the camera, and boom, you're in front of it, or even just holding a selfie stick or something like that. It's just doing that. But in order to get a decent quality video, you got to pay at least a few $100s. And as far as like the content wise, like you were talking about, somebody standing in the field and then all of a sudden they're in a house jamming out or something like that. I don't know what video you're talking about, but I've seen videos that come across that way where they have 2 or 3 different things that just don't make sense.
That's what I kind of come into. It's like it doesn't make sense. Like dancing in a field randomly doesn't really correlate with life sometimes, but
sometimes it could be also the art, like because art is subjective. Whatever that field represents might mean something with the song. But like if you're not very in tune to what the song's about, or you don't see the vision that they're showing you, then it may not make sense. So going back to what Visionary was saying about shooting with like a camera, a phone, like a lot of the new cameras shoot in 4K, like 4K resolution. So you can, and there actually are music videos that have been done, like professionally produced videos that have been done like on iPhones. And matter of fact, I have a video I filmed with Visionary on the iPhone. I'm still editing it. Are you pointing somewhere? Anyway,
he's mad at you.
Yeah, I filmed a video for him with my iPhone 12 Max Pro or whatever it's called. I'm editing it. It's taking a while because I'm trying to do some effects that I've never done before, so I'm having to manually figure them out versus, there's probably a program that can do them real easy, but I'm figuring it out. But I think it looks really clear, clean. Probably like maybe a couple more weeks, I'll have it done, and I'll show you guys what it looks like. But as long as you're creative and you're able to put things together and make it work, you can make it happen.
I like it. Yeah.
I know. I moved. You know I moved, and you helped me move. But no.
You told me it would be done a couple weeks ago.
But it'll be done soon, and it'll be worth it. Trust me. I already like how it looks. No one else has seen it, but it looks really tight. So, but you'll see what I'm talking about. I did it on the iPhone, and I'll show you guys. Once I get the final product done.
Are you editing it in like iMovie and things like that, or did you move the computer and edit through a program?
Yeah, through a program. Vegas Video.
Okay.
Yeah, it's not that expensive. I mean, it was like maybe I forget how much it was, like $100, something like that.
Yeah, you don't have to promote it. That's
no. Yeah, they're not a sponsor. They're not a sponsor.
I was going to ask you, are there slot machines or poker tables in the background, like as a default, or?
I do not get your joke.
There's a roulette table on the back.
Vegas audio or something? That's
what
he's saying.
Oh, okay. Now I get the joke.
Joe's catching. Yeah, Joe's catching up.
Yes, there is.
Yeah. Oh, shit.
I think it's funnier now that you're like, I didn't know what that. What are you trying to do?
I didn't get it.
Yeah, no, I know. That's why I said that. But yeah,
I thought you were promoting your next album after this album, Vegas Audio.
I should. Thank you. That's the name of my.
That's a good one.
It's going to be an album of nothing but sounds that you would hear on the Vegas Strip.
Yep.
Hey, loser, get out of the way!
Want to see my
kind of thing.
Give me your chips, bitch.
Okay. Here's a card to get in the strip club for $5.
The guys make as they like.
Yeah, they're making. Yeah.
Yeah, the dude with the cards like that guy. Yeah, that's what Mark's thinking.
And then the sound of the fountain.
The Bellagio.
In the background.
Yeah.
We're making an album here, guys.
Yeah.
A couple of car
horns.
horns.
And then you can hear the shots of, when Tupac got shot, you can hear those sounds in the background too.
Oh, wow, that's sad.
Yeah, no,
he died.
It's the sounds of Vegas.
Joe.
I mean, that's
a man died, Joe.
But that way
don't
it's
bring
Vegas.
that up.
Yeah.
I mean, maybe he died.
We're going for sounds of new Vegas.
Yeah, he didn't die. So see, it's not sad.
No, he's on Virgin Islands, like living it up. He's like our age, probably.
He's like in Belize or something like that.
He's not our age.
Somebody said they saw him at the McDonald's drive-thru. I don't know which one, but they took a picture and the caption read "Fries on me."
It's like he's our He's our generation Elvis.
Yes, he is.
Yeah.
Well, him and Biggie, but nobody sees Biggie.
No, Biggie died
because Biggie's too
Tupac
big.
is. Yeah, no.
Because you can't see him.
Yeah, you can't hide him.
Tupac can kind of hide and shit, like fucking behind bushes and shit. Oh, that's Tupac. No, it's not. That you mean?
That's just some other guy over there. Yeah, no, Elvis is still alive too, or he should be nearing his death. But he should be like 80-something years old.
He should.
Yeah, because wasn't he 40-something when he died?
Be like 90. He'd be in his 90s.
Yeah, he would be if he was in his 40s when he died in the 70s. Or in the 80s.
Yeah, none of us are good.
He'd be 90s. Well, I am good at math, but
I don't even know what you're talking about.
I failed math class twice.
Shit, no, I don't know what you're talking about.
It's okay, Joe. You'll get there one day.
Carry the one. Just carry the one.
Oh, okay. Yeah.
Don't forget the cosine.
The cosigner?
That and the fractional properties.
Okay, now you're talking. Are you trying to talk to Mark?
Whatever that means, I don't know.
And are you talking like this prop? Oh, okay.
I'm talking to you, Joe.
But he's talking about like properties and stuff, and
yeah, but
this conversation is getting too abstract.
I'm no genius at math, but I know words.
Number based.
Yeah.
You're just gonna fade. You're just gonna fade to black right now.
Anyway,
I'm done with work for the day. I can't think of numbers no more.
Nice.
Anyways, yeah, Visions Volume 2, they had like 12 tracks on there. 2 chopped and screwed tracks that were done by Mr. Paco. You guys know who that guy
Paco.
is.
Scott.
Yeah, he hangs out with that other guy, Joe Audio, a lot. Yeah, Joe did all the artwork for the album and everything. And he did a really good job. I sent him a picture. I was like, hey, here's this picture. What do you think about using this? And he sent something back right away. He's like, this is what I came up with. He's like, I also came up with some other things, but, it's up to you. And I really liked what he came up with, so we just ran with it.
It was actually an Instagram picture, wasn't it?
Yeah,
I'm a fan
Instagram
of Chopped
picture.
and Screwed. That's good.
Yeah.
I'll need to check that out.
Yeah, Paco does a pretty good job. He's been working on it for like quite a while, right, Joe? For like 10
Yeah,
12,
on and off.
13,
I mean,
14
it
years.
just depends on the equipment because he has like his little digital turntable now, so he can do it. But yeah, about 5 years ago.
Do you want to explain, Joe, like what Chopped and Screwed is for people who don't know what it is?
So
for audiences that don't know.
Yeah, Chopped and Screwed music. So pretty much it originated in like Houston, Texas, from a DJ named DJ Screw. And pretty much what DJ Screw would do is he would like slow down the music. So he would just play it, and then he would do this at parties and clubs and everything. So that slowed down sound, people would call it screwed music or screwed up music. And then when he would mix it, then he would just do like little chops in it. So like it pretty much like the song would be playing, and then like whatever word's going to come next, he would chop it in, and then it would almost repeat the word and kind of skip, and it's just an effect almost. I guess a lot of people in Texas would drink lean or what is it, cough syrup and stuff. So yeah, so and it's real big in the South, and so just kind of being high and all that, like
Visionary knows.
Yeah.
I don't know anything about the scissor, even though I know it's from methazine.
Right.
I wasn't trying to give the ingredients.
And that makes you visionary. To be a visionary.
I saw the visions of it. I've never tried it. I've seen the visions.
Yeah, so that's all it was. I mean, just slowed music that's just chopped up, and you cruise with it, like relax. I guess whenever you're high or whatever, it's supposed to like just be cool. I jam. I don't do none of that stuff, but I jam screwed and chop music just on a long drive.
Me too. Well, cool. not that. I just love listening to it.
Yeah.
So I'm a fan of it.
Yeah.
DJ Screw is good.
Yeah, his was it June 27th or whatever the album he made that. Yeah, like all those songs are really cool. Like, and when you hear his music, how he did it, it sounds really like almost another art form. Essentially,
it is. It's another level of music because it takes you down. Like, I don't want to make it. I mean, I guess I'm coming from like a sober.
I can't read that
mindset. What was that?
He said he'd be right back. I can't read it.
Nice. For me, it's like I listen to it soberly, right? Like when I listen to it, it almost sounds like you're stepping in mud a little bit, like audioly, right? Like, because it sounds like, because that's what it kind of sounds like, and it flows so good because they DJ Screw basically takes the songs and he chops them up and he makes them slower, and the song comes a different way to hear it.
It's kind of relaxing, to be honest.
Yeah, I agree. I like it.
I have never heard of it.
Yeah.
You've never heard of Chopped and Screwed? DJ Screw?
No, never heard of it.
It's good. I mean, like they even did like Twista. Twista did like a Chopped and Screwed, or at least maybe DJ Screw did, and
What song with Twisted would if they do, or if it's even off the top of your head?
I really wouldn't know. One of my favorite albums, like Screwed and Chopped, is Baby Bash, The Smoking Nephew. Like I've listened to that so many times, Screwed and Chopped. Like
classic.
I listened to that probably more than the original, and that's a lot. With some versions of songs I've heard Screwed and Chopped, I've heard them first Screwed and Chopped, and I can't listen to the original one. Like it just doesn't sound right. So.
Joe, I'm not going to lie to you. That was actually the first Baby Bash album I bought because I was like, oh, man, I love, Sugar, and I wanted to, buy the album.
We do not own this song.
I ended up getting the Screwed and Chopped version.
They slow it down. Yeah. So that's Adrenaline Rush, which is one of Twisted main songs.
Yeah, I've heard a lot of Screwed and Chopped stuff. I heard, like I was saying, the Baby Bash's Smoke and Nephew album, the Screwed and Chopped version. I actually bought that first before I bought the actual album. Not realize, because I didn't realize it was Screwed and Chopped, and I put it in my CD player, and I was like, "What the hell is this?"
It's so slowed down.
I was like, "All right, I kind of dig it." And I went back in the store and bought the actual album, and then came back out and compared it to it. I was like, "Oh, this is pretty cool."
But the original version sounds like sped up. Like after you hear the Screwed and Chopped first,
it does fuck you up. Yeah, like you guys were saying, like if you listen to Screwed and Chopped before you listen to the normal shit, it kind of throws you
for sure.
off for sure. It's like
you know who's big into Screwed and Chopped?
No way, really?
England guys. Yeah. I've actually noticed because of two Chopped and Screwed songs that I have, England and Europe, mostly Great Britain area, they like Screwed and Chopped for some reason, because I see a lot of plays coming.
They're probably barely getting the music because like a lot of the like outside the US, like they still listen to like some of the old school hip hop. Like it's just slow to leak out to them. They're probably barely discovering it. They're all, "Who's this DJ Screw? Oh no, man, he's so cool! 2021, brand new DJ," and like he's been dead for like 20 years now. So it's like they're just late on music over there.
Okay.
Yeah.
Hey, either way, they're enjoying it. I don't care.
Yeah,
we're gonna kind of make this one a little short one with the show. But one last question that I wanted to ask you guys, and I just recently saw this. I don't know if Scott may have sent this to me, or I saw it somewhere on social media, or it may have been on one of your guys' social media. I recently just seen something where someone was explaining, or they did like a TikTok video or something. I don't know. I'm not really into the newer social medias, but he was explaining that we're talking here about different genres of music, and then we've kind of bounced back and talked about older versions of rap and then newer versions and things like that. This person on the video was talking about how the old school rap happened to be pretty punk at the time. And I wanted to get your guys' opinion and maybe feedback about how do you feel with like the older rap? Do you feel that it kind of blended in with the punk genre? They kind of started at the same time. So what are your guys' thoughts on that?
Okay. Well, what I would say, they did kind of start about the same time. I guess they're kind of rooted the same in a sense that with punk rock or punk music, they kind of like were rebelling, like kind of just going against whatever was going on, the mainstream or the system or the man, whatever. And hip hop was essentially the same thing, just with a different background, going against the system, the man, whatever you might call it, kind of the same themes. I would say originally hip hop or rap started the same. Like it was kind of like a scream or a cry for like frustration, like kind of just saying, hey, look what's going on. This is not, right. We don't like this. This is not what we like. This is what we want to do. We're going to do it our way. And then that's kind of how a lot of the original hip hop started, especially like the gangster rap type, I think really blew up because of that. Like, just trying to be a different system, like F the police or whatever. I mean, that's a punk type thing too, So
NWA.
Yeah, exactly. I would say, I think there's some truth to that, some validity that they originated from the same kind of mind state and sound a little bit different, but pretty much are portraying the same messages.
Yeah, even to now, to like today's rap, or even because what you would call is like when punk really became mainstream, back in the early 2000s, late 90s and all that, it started becoming like pop punk, so you had like Sum 41, you had Offspring, you had all these different bands that were really popular, but they still brought the punk sound. But that's where they lost like a lot of the underground punk fans. You had Fall Out Boy, you had Newfound Glory, No Effects. There's certain bands that started on the rise, realized, hey, we're getting too popish. We want to go back to being rooted in just punk. And it's the same thing essentially for rap. You see, pop rap, which has really become what it is now in the last 10 years or so. I mean, in the first 30 years of it, it was, hardcore street, gangsta, and everyday life kind of stuff. But also they glamorized, as far as what they wanted to become, their aspirations and such, and what they did become. Now it's become so pop at the current state to where every song on the radio, every rap song, really 9 out of 10 sound exactly the same because they all are saying the same thing. There's like they've lost their creativity as far as being rap, and that's where you have pop rap, you have pop punk. The pop punk pretty much became the same thing, and that's when it fizzled out in like the mid 2000s because every band was putting out the same kind of song, the same vibe, everything is the same thing where pop rap is at now. So they're at different times, but yeah, they've all went along the same lines. But it's just like Joe said, they all originated from the same thing. They wanted to rebel, they wanted to have a voice to be heard. Those that were misunderstood and under appreciated and stuff like that. It's all the same thing for both genres, really. And there is validity.
So a follow-up question to you guys on that. I mean, I know you kind of touched on it, Visionary, but where do you think the avenue or the direction, or how do you guys feel on how today's rap music is going? Do you guys think it's in the right direction, or do you think maybe they should try to take a step back to, the older roots, or what do you guys think? I mean, I know it's a loaded question, but
it's very loaded. I mean, but I think at the moment right now, they're kind of like stuck at a plateau because, like I said, the last 5 years, a lot of the music that you hear on the radio is pretty much the same. It's the same process over and over and over, just tweaked different ways here and there. Yeah, there's some that come out like say a Post Malone, who's a little bit different, which is a good thing because it was a breath breath of fresh air essentially, But then everything else kind of stayed the same. Or then you have another artist like YG coming back into this picture and bringing more of that West Coast gangster rap back in a little bit, So they're kind of at a plateau, but there's different artists that are coming up to kind of tip it one way or the other. It just depends on who gets there first, really, and leans to which way, because the same style of rap cannot, stay the same for a long time, because you had the street grimy stuff in the early 90s and that New York hip hop style in the 80s and stuff like that. It eventually evolved into more club type music. And and that's like gangster rap when it started out, it was done over mixed beats and stuff like that, to where it evolved into the G-Funk era and then came into what we know of it today from what where it left off 10-15 years ago. So everything in the whole rap industry evolves, and as that goes, right now that music is at a plateau, so it has to sway one way or the other before it either can continue up or continue back down. It's just you'll see a change of it in the next couple of years, and you already can notice it because if you haven't noticed, a lot of the female rappers that are out right now that are popular, they actually rap the way we were rapping 10, 15 years ago. they're actually rapping. I mean, I'm not a huge fan of a lot of them just because they haven't struck me enough to become fans. But I noticed that they're rapping like the Brat or Lil Kim or Trina or any of those females that were rapping 20 years ago. They're rapping like that. But the guys, for some reason, haven't caught on to it.
Wow.
So it's there's a slow sway back towards the actual rap where you're hearing that, the fastness and being lyrical about stuff, not just, oh, my life sucks, I'm popping pills, I'm so depressed, blah, 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 bullshit. It's same thing over and over, or I'm going to kill you, we're harder than you. That's what it is basically right now with a lot of the male rappers or, ungender specified rappers.
Nice.
Whoever.
I love the PC approach. I like it.
So when do you?
But that's
when
where
do you
it's
think
at
that
right now
we get 6ix9ine's WAP song?
Oh, it's probably already out. And nobody cares about it. I mean, because he really didn't make a big a splash that he should have. He made a splash in the wrong way, and it killed anything that he would have had going forward. So it's just, with everything that he did it the wrong way, and it's backfiring, and he's still trying, which I congratulate him for doing it, for trying, but he needs to stop, rethink his plan, and come at it differently if he's going to try to continue to be relevant. But yeah, I don't see him making much more.
All right.
Out of
and last
what he's
question, Visionary, what's the next step for you? You have your new album, your newer album now. What do you think, or where do you think you want to go from here?
Currently, we just finished up Joe's new album, Horchata in My Cup.
I love the title.
I'm excited about it. When we came up with it, we were throwing ideas back and forth, and we finally landed on Horchata in My Cup. And I said, it's perfect. It represents you entirely because it is who you are. Because originally he was going to do, he's good and sweet. He's a full glass. He's all around. He's well rounded, not just physically, but all over. And when he came up with the title, we were like, okay, that's what we're going to work with. So he started working on songs, and I was so hyped because of the songs he was coming up with or reimagining from older versions. And I was like, this is the title perfectly fits for what you have going on here. And that I was so excited about, and which made me want to get into it even more. So it's just like now I'm recording songs for a couple different albums because I'm actually working on two new albums for myself. Just whatever fits together first is what's going to come out first, and that's for me. And then me and Joe are working on a new album together. Just me and him this time. The last time me and him actually worked on a project solely just us both coming together for it was 13, 14 years ago for a mixtape. And this now is something different. Like, we want to make sure that every song can be visualized. So that's why we're going to call it audio visuals or audio visions. And it's not just a play on our names, but also a play on the song. Yeah, it's Joe. You got anything to say about your album that you're excited about?
Kind of like Visionary's album. Some of my songs are a little bit older, not as old. I mean, maybe like 5 years. I put out an album like half effort, honestly, called Desert Diaries, and I put that out. A lot of songs on there were recorded like at different times. The levels weren't mixed very well, and I just put it out just to have it done. And I wasn't really like satisfied with it. Like, it just didn't really sit well in my mind. I didn't really promote it just because like I got the album done. There it was. And then when we started kind of working on music again, like and then we put together Visionary's album, it was like it got me back into the mode of wanting to do music. And then so I started looking at some of the old songs I had. Some of the beats we had we couldn't use because they weren't like we didn't have any rights to them. We didn't lease them, or we didn't pay for them. So I couldn't use those songs and release them like on streaming services because we didn't have any legal rights to it. So we went ahead and purchased some beats and replaced them, re-recorded some of the songs. Or Chopped in My Cup was like one of the big songs I made a few years ago. Didn't have an original beat for it. Finally got an original beat for it, and then started making that. And then just a few different songs I wanted to do. I actually finished them and recorded them and redid what was already there, and then pretty much repackaged my whole album for this Horchata in My Cup for an actual it's sounding good. Like I made sure all the vocals were mixed right this time, and I spent time on that to make sure it sounded good all the way across. So now I'm proud of it, and that's going to be coming out April 16th on all streaming platforms. So once I get that, then I'll have hard copies for people too. So but yeah, anywhere you can Spotify, Apple Music, YouTube, all that. It's going to be everywhere. So just excited for that.
Yeah, Joe's album actually it's like half and half. Like it's half newer stuff and half older stuff that he reworked into being new songs. And like he really worked hard to reimagine it to make it into something that he was proud of, something I was proud to listen to, because the last album that he put out, the Desert Diaries, I finally told him honestly I didn't enjoy listening to it at all. I mean, there was maybe a few songs that I actually liked listening to, but overall it sounded like there was hardly any effort put into it. Like he just recorded the songs to record them, and then finally just was like, oh, I've got enough done, I'll put it out. That's what it sounded like. And me knowing him for so long, I know that of him, and I could tell it just in the recordings, that's the way he felt. And to listen to what he put out, he's getting ready to put out now, I'm like 100% behind it, because it's actually way better than my album.
Yeah, and at the time too, when I recorded all that, like me and Visionary weren't doing music together. Like it was just kind of something I was doing off on the side, like not really no direction. Like didn't really have like motivation. I just wanted to record something, and I really didn't care too much about it. But now that I'm back in the mode, it's like this is something I want people to hear. So I have to make sure it sounds right, and the full version of me is on there versus the half. So.
All right, well, guys, if you could, sorry for cutting you off there, Visionary. If you could just tell us where we can find you, socials, websites, or anything like that. And
as far as us together with Brown Street Entertainment, that's our label. But as far as music wise, you can find me up on all streaming platforms. Amazon, iTunes, Spotify, Napster. If anybody still uses a Napster. There you go. We're on Napster. We're on iHeartRadio. You can look up Visionary. You could look up Joe Audio. Even Mr. Paco, his album is out there too on all of that stuff. YouTube, we have the Midnight Get Right video. We're getting ready to release the Right on Time video. Soon there'll be a Joe Audio music video, on YouTube as well. As far as socials, you can find me on. I'm only on 2. I don't do Twitter, Tumblr, any of that other stuff, Snapchat, whatever. I just do Instagram. Yeah. Well, I don't tell everybody my OnlyFans, because that's for OnlyFans. Because those that know. Actually, the good ones get it for free. But I'm on Instagram at that_dude_viz, or I'm on Facebook at thatdudeviz. So those 2 you can find me on social media. Otherwise, my music's on every streaming service. Joe?
Yeah, Instagram, it's Joe Audio 623, or else the Brown Street ENT at Brown Street ENT. Facebook, Brown Street ENT as well. I only have my personal page on Facebook, so I'm not really going to say that. But Instagram, pretty much. I should start one on Facebook. I don't know why I don't have an artist page, but if I do, it's going to be Joe Audio either way.
Joe, I have a personal page as well, and for some reason, I have more fans and supporters on my personal page than I do on my actual music page on Facebook, which is weird. And I'm like one away from 100 page likes or whatever on my Facebook music page. So somebody give me one more like.
Okay, I'll like it finally.
Oh, thanks. Yeah, you can find us there. We also just launched a clothing store on Teespring. So if you go to teespring.com/stores/brown-street-entertainment, it'll bring up our little clothing store. We only have 3 designs up right now. We're going to be putting more up. They're based off of the Brown Street Entertainment logo and song lyrics or song titles. So, go there and buy something.
Just send me the link. I'll send it to Mark so he can put it in the show notes.
Okay.
I don't even know the website to go, so.
I had to memorize it.
Yeah, I don't know. I need to click on something. So.
Yeah. I had to memorize it because I was giving out the wrong link, and I don't know where I was sending people for a while.
All right, guys. Well,
so we've got
we're the same way with us. We have a million different projects going on at the same time. One of the reasons I was late today is working on a different project we had because it's just frustration. But either way, I appreciate you guys came on. Amigos out.
This has been the Amigos PC. Make sure to like, subscribe, and review us on all your podcasting platforms. Visit us at amigospc.net for our entire library of content and Amigos merch. Till next time, adios.